The Garden Report is brought to you by FanDuel, the exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network.
Hey, Bobby Manning here. Welcome to the Garden Report one more time from State Farm Arena in Atlanta. The Celtics move on 128-120 over the Hawks. A big fourth quarter flurry with none other than Grant Williams on the floor. Pushed the Celtics ahead of the Hawks in what was a mostly tied one-possession game for the length of the second half, and sometimes the Hawks shot ahead by 6-7 points. So Boston faced deficits, tied games, tried to hold an advantage late, kicked around an inbounds pass about 4 times, and hardened their defense against Trae Young after he posted another 30-point performance against them. Variety of coverages on him, crucial in this one. They dropped, they doubled. The prevent worked best late in the game, and they used Grant Williams to put that on Young, along with Al Horford, Marcus Smart, Brown, and Tatum late in this game. Celtics played bigger with Grant out there, who took 3 DNPs in this series. Had a great game 3 in the loss with 4 of 4 3-point shooting tonight. The stat sheet doesn't stand out. Only 3 points, 1 of 2 from 3, 1 of 4 from the field. A few sloppy misses late in the fourth as well. But steps into the game just before halftime. The defense wasn't working for the Celtics throughout much of that first half. Young got comfortable hitting those floaters, found teammates, and that's where Joe Mazzulla grew concerned that after a 13-assist game, Young had 35 as well in Game 5, stealing that win in Boston, he was going to be able to feed teammates like John Collins, get DeJounte Murray going after the Celtics held him to an 0-for-5 first half, along with others like Saddiq Bey and certainly Bogdan Bogdanovic, who just killed Boston throughout this series. They wanted to prevent Young from setting those guys up, and that's what they ultimately did. Played a little prevent on him, gave him space to step into mid-range shots, as well as tough three-pointers, and man, did he hit him in this one. Just another incredible display from Young, torturing Boston's defense throughout much of them. But Al Horford said they just stayed with it, and that's the story of Grant's series here.
New customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win.
Big fourth quarter 3, a steal on, again, prevent up to half court on Young, face guarding him practically at that moment. A few little plays throughout that second half I thought keyed their defensive approach against the Hawks point guard, and I think just made him think a little bit more down the stretch. He had to face switches. He had a guy in Grant who could stay in front of him and stick with him a little bit. And this is why I said, play him. Play him, play him, play him. I know he struggled throughout much of this season, had his struggles in the Game 3 at times defensively, and overall, much of the season you haven't seen the same Grant defensively, but tonight I think he turned the corner. Celtics had a ton of positive things to say about him, particularly Al Horford, who I asked what Grant provided to alongside Horford in crunch time, and Horford was just thrilled with the performance. Here's what he said.
What did Grant give you guys today?
Man, Grant was huge. So professional throughout all this. Uncertainty, things like that. He did not make excuses. His number was called. He stepped up, made big shots, defensive plays. Just so key for us to close this game. We do not close this game if Grant doesn't come in and step up and play the way that he did.
So it's important. My biggest worry, along with some of the concerns the Celtics faced in this series, pace, offensive decision-making, rebounding, ball control, was that they lost Grant. I thought Grant fell out of the fold here, and maybe you wouldn't be able to mentally get him back. Having a game like this, confidence boost, as well as a reminder that this team needs him. Going into a series against Joel Embiid and the Sixers, where he guarded Embiid for the majority of the possessions in that last game they played, a win for Philadelphia where Embiid scored 52. You're going to need to play him. Rob struggled again tonight. Blocked some shots, contested shots at the rim, but didn't grow involved offensively and fell to 17 minutes. Split 17 minutes each between Rob and Grant was how they played the front court. I think that's similar to what you're going to see against Philadelphia. Hopefully, Horford gets the primary role guarding Embiid in that series, and who knows how healthy Embiid will be going into it. You're going to need Grant, too, to front him, play a strong defensive stance, and spread the floor, because you're going to need to get Embiid out of the paint in that matchup as well. We'll continue to preview the 76ers through the weekend, but for now, Celtics with a 128-120 win here, pulling ahead late with Grant Williams on the floor. Big shots from Jason Tatum, Al Horford with the go-ahead 3, and Jaylen Brown with some runouts. Stave off the Hawks from forcing a Game 7, a huge win here in Atlanta. Celtics, I think, learned a lot about themselves in this series, and Grant Williams returned to the rotation for 17 minutes here in this win. Stay tuned to Celtics All Access for more conversation here from Atlanta, including how the Hawks challenge and help the Celtics grow here, along with some Philadelphia previews coming over the weekend, reactions over on CLNS Media, and one more time from State Farm Arena here in Atlanta. I'm Bobby Manning. This has been The Garden Report.
The Garden Report is brought to you by BetterHelp. If you want to live a more empowered life, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/garden today to get 10% off your first month. This edition of The Garden Report is also brought to you by Athletic Greens. Visit athleticgreens.com/garden for a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase.